The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good afternoon, Dallas, Fort Worth, my favorite city. I grew up in Dallas, Fort Worth. I now make my home in Florida now, but all my friends and family still live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We've got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking about functional medicine. And for some reason, functional medicine, we get more questions about functional medicine, and I haven't even told, we have the greatest expert in Dr. Daniela Gamboa with Elite Care, and she doesn't know we're going to be mostly answering your questions that you've sent in on functional medicine. Let me welcome you to, I love doing this show. First of all, it goes by so fast, and when you do 30 shows a month, a fast show is wonderful, but her shows are always so interesting. We get letters from people just saying how much they love the show. Let me welcome Dr. Daniela Gamboa.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? This is a big surprise. So I looked at the questions that we get people who email, and I bet you there's about 40 questions on functional medicine. So if you don't mind, I have got so many functional medicine questions for you today.
Of course, I'll be happy to answer. And if I do not know the answer, then I'll be happy to find out for next time.
Don't let Dr. Gamboa fool you. She knows everything. She is so good. We have never had a question in over a year that she couldn't answer. Dr. Gamboa.
Steve, you learn things every day. So,
Yes, that's true. So people love your personality. I had a lady from Rockwall, Texas, that said it would be almost worth moving closer to you to have you as her doctor, but she lives way out in Rockwall. But she said, I listen to every one of Dr. Gamboa's shows. Your practice is called Elite Care. Tell us about your practice.
Elite Care Clinic. Yes, thank you, Steve. Yes, my clinic is Elite Care Clinic, and the way I wanted to design this was as it says, personalized care, because as it's that is functional medicine. We treat the whole person. I try to find the cause of the problem, not only giving you medications for the symptoms, but we try to see what's causing the symptom. If we can go ahead and treat the root of the problem, then that's what we do. And that's what we try to do the most. We are here in Las Colinas in Irvine, and it's been an honor to be here and a very humbling experience because I can teach patients, because that's my passion, women's health, to learn so that you're an advocate for your own self. If a doctor is dismissing your symptoms, don't stop, don't just wait and then for the symptoms get worse. If he's not listening or she's not listening, please go to someone else that is going to listen to you, and we're going to try to help you and find what's the problem.
Well, I was just shocked when we went and looked at the questions, Dr. Gamboa, and functional medicine. I got to tell you, I've learned so much from you, and we have a doctor in the Atlanta area. I think that you're a step ahead of the doctors out there because you find, I think like everybody knows their body. And I can tell you if something's wrong with my body. But if I go to the doctor and he says, we'll do lab work and doesn't, and there's nothing there, but I know there's something, I know I need to go to someone who specializes in functional medicine. Do I have that right?
Yes, like you said it that very, very uh, in an easy way to understand, because what happens, and a clear example of that is your thyroid. Like, I mean, for the longest, like even me at the beginning, whenever we are in training, they mostly like teach you like the TSH, that's the thyroid stimulating hormone, as the screening test. And yes, it's a screening test, but it doesn't tell everything, right? So like we only check for TSH, and most of the times the TSH is going to be fine, but the patient is feeling terrible. There's no like energy, like, and the patient, as you said, they know their body is like, maybe there's something wrong with my thyroid. But the initial test is saying, no, it's not. But truly is that we're not looking for the right test. Like a lot of the times we have to look into the functional part or the biologically active part of the thyroid. That would be the free T3. And most of the doctors, we don't. It's not part of our education. It's not part of the preventative tests that we do initially. It's only TSH, but we have to order the free T3. Whenever we order free T3, that is always low, and that's causing you the problems. But the initial screen test may be saying that you're normal, quote unquote. I don't like to use normal because there's so many issues with being normal, because you can be within the range of the lab, but you can be in the lower end. So like that lower end, that it's not the same as being in the higher end of the curve. So we always have to be on the right side of the curve, trying to be, and still it's normal, right? So we have to always look for the optimal levels, actually. And that happens with the thyroid. So whenever like you're feeling tired, you're like, they check make sure they check your hormones, especially if you are perimenopausal. And then also like ask them to check the free T3. That's the functional part of your thyroid. But not all the doctors feel comfortable with this, and not everyone is going to check for it.
Well, first, I want to share with everybody, you treat weight loss. And I have to tell you something. I've shared this with you before. I have to see a nephrologist. And I have been on Ozempic, which I've told you about. I was at stage 4, Dr. Gamboa, which is like the step before you start to go to dialysis, right?
Yep.
So I've been on Ozempic for a year. And when I went and had my lab work done, my doctor said, and he's always told me, he said, we can't cure it. We just got to keep it from getting worse. And I got my lab work back, and he said he owes it all to Ozempic. I am stage 3 now. So I actually reversed when the doctor said you can't do that. Does that surprise you?
Well, that's the thing with not only the weight loss that the Ozempic or the GLP-1s are going to do, because obviously you are decreasing all that load from the kidneys. That's one thing. The other one also is that if like people don't know, Ozempic is a semaglutide, but it's like a GLP-1 that helps with for the diabetics. So it's the branded name for diabetics. Wegovy is the branded name for the weight loss. But Ozempic has been in the market since 2017, and it's been helping people. But we have all this data, and they're now like Ozempic also has the indication for the decrease the progression of like chronic kidney disease. So that's great, and that's why it helped you. And I'm really happy that your doctor started you on that, Steve, because not only that, but you're also going to have a lot of benefits from the decreasing the risk for heart attacks and strokes that also Ozempic helps you with. And I'm sure that they also paired with other medications that are really the gold standard for the diabetes to also help decrease the load of the sugar in your kidneys. They are called the SGLT2s, that they're going to make you spill the extra sugar through the urine, and that also helps you with pairing with the Ozempic. It's the best thing, like Jardiance, Farxiga. Those are really good medications that will help you to with the decreasing the risk for progression of chronic kidney disease.
So you're not surprised?
No, because that was like the indication for that. But again, like I think that people have to know, people like especially diabetics, they have to learn about the benefits of the medications, and I think that now like it's a great time of like helping a lot of the diabetics decrease the risks of like what diabetes can do. In the past, we only have insulin, we only have very few medications, and those medications were not really providing a lot of benefit to the diabetics. The good thing is that now we have Ozempic, we have Jardiance, we have Farxiga, we have all these other medications that will benefit you, will decrease your risk, will protect your kidneys, will protect your heart. So as a diabetic, you always have to make sure that you are on those medications that are going to help you. And of course, like all these medications may have like adverse effects, but if you are under the care of a doctor that is going to be monitoring the possibility of adverse effects, you should be fine. A lot of patients are afraid of starting new medications, but if in the long run they're going to benefit you, then you put on the scale is like what's going to cause more damage, like the overload of the sugar that is going to damage my kidneys, or the possibility of improving my kidney function by taking these new medications.
Okay, let's get to the questions. A lot of these are about your practice. People want to know, do you just treat females?
No, like I treat females and males, and I like to help both, especially if they're like in a marriage, because like especially with hormone replacement, like so we have to put them in the same frequency, like we have to help both. So we do that. Also, like we do a lot of like weight loss for patients, for males, and then a lot of male patients, they have obstructive sleep apnea. So if for people that they do not know, also one indication from one of the weight loss medication called Zepbound is obstructive sleep apnea. So if you have obstructive sleep apnea and your insurance doesn't cover the weight loss medication, you may be it's maybe possible that your insurance will cover for your obstructive sleep apnea if you are with a BMI greater than 30. But again, it has to be dependent on your plan and your doctor as well.
Okay. This is from Mike in Grand Prairie. He wants to know, what conditions do you treat?
Thank you for the question, Mike. So I treat basically everything that is like with primary care. So high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes. I help with the weight loss, medical weight loss that is going to help everything. Like if we lose weight, then you may be able to like stop taking or needing the medication for your high blood pressure, that happened with a couple of patients. Whenever they lost 50, 70 pounds, they were off their blood pressure medications, and that's the beauty of the healthy weight and the whole thing about medical weight loss. It can help you. Also, we can have in remission the pre-diabetes, diabetes. We can help you with all that, and also the cholesterol. So I treat basic hypothyroid. I do all this perimenopause, menopause, and hormone replacement.
Here's a great question from Ruthie. She's in Fort Worth. I love your show. I have watched your last 5 shows. Thank you so much. You have so much great information to offer us. How does functional medicine work?
So as thank you, Ruthie, for the question. So as mentioned before, like basically functional medicine is going to treat you as a whole person. It's going to like try to find the root of the cause of what's causing your symptoms. We're not just going to try to treat a symptom, we're going to try and find what is causing this symptom, what is going on. Is it like your hormones? Are you having like an imbalance on your hormones? Is it that your thyroid? Is it that you're having too much of course, like here in America, we all have stress, but the stress is going to bring the cortisol levels high. Is there like a pathologically high levels of cortisol or persistent cortisol levels that can cause what we call it hypercortisolism? That means that you have too much cortisol. That's going to cause a lot of like problems with your sugar. Is going to cause like a severe like muscle aches and pains, like and it's going to like cause you fatigue. It's going to cause so many things that cortisol causes. So we have to see what's going on with you. We have to see as a whole person and try to help you and find out what's causing this.
We just got a text in from Craig in Richardson, Texas. He said, I just heard you mention sleep apnea. I think I've got sleep apnea. Do you do the sleep test yourself or do you send it out?
No, like, thank you for the question. I don't do the test myself. There are so many companies now that can do this, and the specialists like that are going to monitor it, because you need someone to diagnose it. So it would be, let's say, me, I will refer you to have a sleep test. Nowadays, it's a little bit easier because in the past, we used to like send you for a sleep lab that is called polysomnogram. Yes. But now it's a little easier. Like then they're going to send you a sensor. They're going to send you a little vest and like a sensor for the oxygen to your finger. And they're going to ask you to go to sleep as usual. So that is going to sense like how many times do you like stop breathing, how much your oxygen saturation drops in the middle of the night. And then they're going to send all that data to the company, and they're going to, if they have enough data, one night is enough. But if they don't, you have to do it 2 nights in a row. And then they're going to set up an appointment. They're going to discuss it, and they're going to diagnose it. Hey, you stop breathing so many times, like your oxygen goes down and you need a CPAP machine. Or it's mild and you will need maybe an oral appliance, or it's severe and you may need a consultation also with an ENT who may need to do some kind of like surgery. Maybe your tonsils are too big, maybe your palate goes all the way back. So many things that you can do. But the first step is to have diagnosed, because it's very important.
Yeah. And now with this, instead of going to a lab, which I did, which was horrible, you can now do it at home.
Yes, you can. I mean, before it was like put so many cables in like in your scalp, and then it's kind of difficult because it's even though it's a setup like a hotel room, but it's, you know, that they're looking at you, so it's kind of hard to go to sleep in there. But now it's a little better. You do it in your own house, and it's much easier for you to like go ahead and sleep.
And they want to know, is sleep apnea dangerous if it goes untreated?
Yes, it is. Like, so what happens is, like, remember what I mentioned, that every time that you go to sleep, like it's not only the snoring the problem is that you are not having enough oxygen to your brain and your heart. So if you do that consistently every night after night after night, then what happens is, like, number one, you start having memory issues. Number two, you start waking up with a headache. You don't sleep well. You have like irritability, like your cortisol levels go up, your blood pressure go up. Then you have so many other abnormalities. So blood pressure, your sugar, like even you can develop erectile dysfunction because of this. So like obstructive sleep apnea can affect you in so many ways. So that's why it's very, very important for whoever is listening and have like maybe snoring. It's not like, oh yeah, my wife like gives me like the elbow, and then like because I'm snoring, like it's very important to get it checked.
What about functional medicine? Do you need a referral for that?
No, you don't need a referral. What happens? Well, what happens now is like it's becoming a little difficult with insurances. So like basically, like if you're I'm a primary care doctor, well, like family physician, so like that I do this, so I will treat you like that. But sometimes like the doctors, like for example, they did internal medicine and now they do functional medicine. by itself. A lot of people that they do functional medicine, they do concierge, they are doing some direct primary care. So many of them may not be in your insurance, so that is something that may be a problem for some people. Sometimes, I don't know if your plan will cover for a functional doctor. So most of the times they won't. So we cannot make a referral for a functional doctor because I don't think that they will go ahead and cover for it. It's becoming a little an issue with that. So sometimes you just have to pay out of pocket sometimes.
Yes, and we just got to text people wanting to know if you go to a functional medicine practitioner like yourself, is it covered by insurance?
So what I was explaining you earlier, so it will be difficult, with me, I still take insurance, but it's because I'm a family medicine doctor and I send that's how I see my patients. I am the patient, I am in network with most of the plans and then that's why I'm able to do it. But a lot of functional doctors, they got tired and it's very tiring sometimes to deal with insurance companies, there's so much paperwork, prior authorizations and things like that. So a lot of them, they go on their own, but they don't take any insurance. So sometimes it's a concierge medicine or a direct primary care that you have to pay cash for the services or the consultations.
This is from Norma in I guess it's Saxe, yes. Saxe, Texas, wanting to know what is the benefits of functional medicine compared to conventional medicine?
So I would say to me, the ideal thing would be to marry both, right? In the sense of we use both of the good sides. Like functional medicine, as I mentioned, is going to look for the root of the problem versus the traditional medicine is going to mostly treat the symptom that you're having. So that's what we are trained to do, in medical school, right? So we are great at diagnosing. We know how to diagnose or okay, the symptom is with this to come to with a differential diagnosis to try to see, okay, what is your diagnosis? Once we find what the diagnosis is, we try to treat it. But a lot of the times it's basically treating most of the symptoms, but we don't look at the whole picture and say, hey, maybe this high blood pressure is being caused by your other stuff that you're doing, or you're not being you're not doing too much exercise, you're consuming meals that have too much sodium in it. So if we lower those things, if we try to do a prevention and try to help you in that way, then everything is going to work better together, So that's why a lot of the times it differs. We are not only treating the symptoms, we are trying to look what is causing the symptom and trying to help you as a whole thing,
Let me get this last question in. Dr. Gamboa, this is the 5th show I've watched. I love watching your show. You are so pretty and you look like you're in great shape. What supplements do you take?
Oh my gosh, do you want to know the truth? So I take probiotics. I take my vitamin D. I take also I take DHEA. And why do I started taking DHEA? Because I'm not that young anymore, right? So we have to also compensate some of our hormones to help us during that time of our lives that we are in the perimenopause side. So that's how we have to take care of ourselves, and we're not going to have a lot of different symptoms later on. So probiotics for sure, the gut bacteria is amazing how it interacts, helps you with your mental health. It helps you with your immune system. I don't know if you knew, but 90% of serotonin, the happy hormone, is basically made in our gut bacteria. So that's why it's so important to have a really healthy gut bacteria. Try to not eat a lot of processed food, a lot of chemicals. So probiotics help you tremendously. That's why also we don't want to take too many antibiotics if we don't need to, because that kills the good bacteria and the bad one. So vitamins, vitamin D, we don't have enough of vitamin D.
Dr.
Yes.
Dr.
Yes, Steve.
Gamboa is with us the last Wednesday of every month at 4:25 Central Time. It's real easy. She's with us every month. Dr. Gamboa, your show goes by so fast.
I know, right? Like whenever we have fun.
I still have 15 more questions we'll save for your next show. Thank you so much, Dr. Gamboa.
Of course. And then also like we're going to talk about like the newer presentations of one of the weight loss medications, and we will talk more about that Wegovy pill and the Kiwick pen for Zepbound. So I will talk about like that for next time, and also vaginal estrogen. So
what is your website, Dr. Gamboa?
Oh, it's elitecare-clinic.com, and our phone number is 469-947-6020.
Beautiful. Hey, we'll see you next month.
See you next time. Thank you, Steve. First. I will. Take care. You too.
That's Dr. Gamboa. She's with us the last Wednesday of every month for our Dallas Fort Worth show. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back again with you next week with more Ask the Experts. Thank you, Rebel.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.